Okie dokie boys and girls, it is day 357 of bulking to 75 kilos with calisthenics only, and today is the big day. 1 rep max on the pistol squat. I'm not gonna talk too much except the strategy. So I've done my general warm-up. Now I'm gonna move on to the specific pistol squat warm-up. My warm-up weights will be 24, 34, 44, 52 and then 60 kilos. 60 kilos being the main set, of course. And yeah, it's 10 days from the end of the bulk. I've been struggling the entire bulk from basically in March with the pistol squat, trying to get stronger. I've struggled so much, I've gotten injured, I've come back. I really hope I can get the fucking pistol squat today. It would mean the world to me. So, I'm not gonna talk during the warm-ups. I'm not gonna talk about how the reps are feeling and this and that. I'm just gonna concentrate and see what happens. So, let's go. Yes! Fuck yes! I mean, I didn't hit failure yet, so... Oh, fuck yes! Alright. No, that's not happening in the slightest. Whew. Alright. 60 kilos though. 60 kilos. I mean, if you've been following the bulk since the beginning, you'll know that at first I was making crazy newbie gains, I think I started my bulk with a 1 rep max of 40 kilos or something. And after like a month or something, it was 44. And then it was 48. And then it was 52. And then it was 56. Right? But then all of a sudden, things started to change because in the progress of making newbie gains and just getting carried away, I was starting to neglect the form during my training as well. And I wasn't getting stronger anymore. I was just trying to rush to keep up the same progress. But I've talked about this in one of the previous training. When you look at progress, right, look at it in the long term. Extend your progress in a linear fashion, right? So if every month I were to make 4 kilos of gains in the pistol squat, guess what? After that, 9 more months would have passed until now. It's crazy. That's 36 kilos added. That would be like 80 plus kilos in the pistol squat. And so it's unrealistic to try and keep that up. And that's why that was my mistake. So I made a mistake of trying to keep up that linear progress. I rushed into a 60 kilo pistol squat attempt. I failed. Well, and then we had the trip to Japan where obviously I could only do body weight. Not that I regret it, but then I came back and again, I got carried away and I started doing too much volume, neglecting the form in the training. And that was my mistake. That's how I got injured. But, in the last month, I've been doing greasing the groove. I've been keeping mind of a slow negative, and it's really made me just stronger. I'm not saying that today's form on the pistol squat was good by any means, right? I was leaning forward and stuff like that, but I wasn't doing it in my training, and that is what made me stronger. So I'm just fucking insanely happy right now, you know? Because it's been such a long time since I got a PR on this shit. Holy fuck. Alright, I'm gonna drop some weight, 24 kilos or something super light that I'm just able to do for a couple sets of volume, so that I can get in a proper workout. Because guess what, these 1 rep maxes, you don't get stronger doing them, right? You get strong during your training and then you can test how strong you have gotten with your 1 rep max, but the real building, the real progress is found in just the daily work, in the boring stuff, and that's what I'm gonna do right now, because hey, the 1 rep max, great and all, but it's in the past already, so I gotta move on. Super stoked though. Alright, moving on to a measly 24 kilos, but it's gonna feel good, and this is sometimes exactly what you need, you know. I think I attribute the 60 kilo pistol squat to my willingness to squat lightly over the past few weeks, and you know, I'm not gonna forget that fact also, you know, because after the bulk I'm gonna be running a lot, but I do want to maintain a little bit of my leg strength, and you know, these good form light pistol squats, they are gonna come in handy. So am I against hoisting and heaving into oblivion? Of course not, you know? Like horse-cocking some serious weight, that's just what it's all about. But, you know, the way I got there right now is also by using some of the other methods available. So, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is you have different tools for different tasks. And it's not a black or white scenario or a black and white world in training, you know. There's always a gray area, and if you're just like fixated on being in one certain camp, you're missing out on another world of gains. And I guess if you're open to that, if you have an open mindset, you know, it's all about the mindset, that's when you get stronger. So doing some light squats right here, I think I'm gonna aim for like 4 sets of 7 just to get some volume in the legs, and then perhaps still some finisher sets too, but yeah, it's it's gonna burn, I'll tell you that much. Holy fuck. What the fuck? Alright, we'll see what happens with 4 sets, I believe I said. We'll see what happens. Okie dokie, so you can go ahead and call me a pussy, because 1 set less than planned, and it's not because, you know, I feel like it would be absolutely impossible. I think if I really pushed it to my absolute limit, I could still do it, but I don't think there's any point, you know. I've got some fun things planned for my legs. Next week on Saturday, you know, I'm gonna test my big 3 lifts in the gym, bench, squat and deadlift. So I don't want to completely blow myself before that, but rather, you know, the stimulus I got today was sufficient, and well, I will just carry on with some finisher sets. Although, since the sets, you know, on the pistol squats, the main exercise, they were a bit less, I guess I can do some more finisher sets right now. So these finisher sets, right, you know, they are completely focused on one muscle group. So in my case, I'm gonna do the sissy squat, which is only focused on the quadriceps. Nothing else comes really into play, right? So you don't have glute activation, you don't have hamstring activation, you don't have calf activation, lower back activation. All of that stuff is counted out. Everything is on your quadriceps. So even though I'm gonna go hard on these sets, they're light sets and they're only focused on one muscle group, so they're relatively easy to recover from, even though you're getting a very good stimulus for your quadriceps. So I'm gonna do, I think, 2 or 3 sets. And basically the first set, or sets, I guess, will be a straight set of pistols, or not pistol squats, sissy squats, until failure. And then after that, on the last set, I'll do 1 more where I do a sissy squat set, and then if I can't do any sissy squats anymore, I'll drop into only sissy squat negatives, and I'll be pulling myself up with assistance, and then in the end I'll be doing toe squats, or I like to call them bunny squats, but you'll see how that looks like. In any case, I can assure you it's a very good quadricep finisher. So let's get started with set number 1. Alright, fuck yeah. Okie dokie, so in case you're wondering, very happy with how today's training went, and my quadriceps are obviously feeling destroyed, but yeah, that's it for the leg day, and now there are less than 10 days left in the bulk. Now, what are gonna be the remaining plans for those 10 days? Because it's a short time, but you know, in 10 days you can still do a lot. And well, first of all, tomorrow we have a hamstring day, and I'm gonna attempt to get 50 Nordic rolls in one training. Now, the Nordic roll, it's a bit of a difficult exercise. You know, when I started the bulk, at that point I was injured and I was able to do 0 reps, but even before that, my PR, I think, was like perhaps 9 reps in bad form, and lately I've been doing them in better form, even though it's not perfect yet. But you know, being able to progress to 50 reps in one training would be for me, at least for me, like I feel that it would be an insane achievement. So that's very exciting, and that's the plan for tomorrow. But after that, you know, probably, well, the plan is going to be to, first of all, train hard, study well, and eat and sleep plenty, as always, but especially to focus on sleep and eating will be big, because, you know, even though I'm going to keep training, right, of course, on Saturday, I'm going to do a bench, squat, and deadlift, 1 rep max attempt, just to see where I'm at, you know, because I've never benched in my life, but I have done squats a couple years back for rehab on my ACL, and I have done a deadlift once in my life. So I just want to see if I'm stronger than I was before, especially now that I weigh, you know, 10 kilos more than back when I tried it, you know. So that's going to be very exciting, and I don't want to head into that session with the excuse of, oh, I did chest the day before, so I'm not going to be strong, you know. That's something that you see way too often, so I want to avoid that at all costs. And but yeah, nonetheless, that's gonna be the plan for the bulk. So of course, there's gonna be some like monthly progress update as well, which I guess will be the progress of the year. But yeah, very exciting stuff coming up. And I guess, well, I hope to see you, or I hope that you will be there to see it. But yeah, that's it for today's training. I'll see you tomorrow for hamstrings. One thing, one day at a time.